Good morning everyone. My name is Shital Tarle and I am FYBEd students. Today I am going to take a digital teaching lesson plan on subject math. Good morning everyone. How are you all? You must be fine. So, if I ask you what is the square of 4, then what you will tell me? What is the square of 4? Square of 4. We know the square of 4 is 16. Okay? And square root of 16 is nothing but the 4. What is the square root of 16? Square root of 16 is 4. And if I ask you what is the square of minus 4? Okay, square of minus 4. 4. So square is nothing but the 2 times multiplication of any number. That is minus 4 into minus 4 is equal to 16. So if you will observe here, the square of 4 and square of minus 4 is same, that is the 16. Even the signs are different, means positive 4. Square of positive 4 and square of negative 4 is same, that is 16. And if I ask you what is the square root of negative 16? Can you define? Can you conclude? No. So in this video, in this lecture, we are going to study about that numbers. How we will represent that number. Okay. So our topic is complex number. So what is meant by complex number? Complex number has the 2 parts. First one is real part and second one is imaginary part. So the real part of complex number is denoted by RE of Z and imaginary part is denoted by IN in bracket Z, where Z is the complex number and complex number is denoted by Z. Okay. So what is the real part, what is the imaginary part, that we are going to discuss. As I told you earlier, we can't find the square root of minus 16, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, etc. So how we will represent it? So we can't define the square root of minus 3, minus 2 and minus 1. So as we don't know the square root of minus 1, we will consider it as I. Okay. So square root of minus 1. We can't find the square root of minus 1. So we will denote it as I. I is nothing but the imaginary number. So it is imaginary. That's why we call this number is imaginary number. So under root minus 1 is equal to I. So the value of under root 1 is nothing but the I. Okay. and we denote the complex number by letter Z is equal to A plus B I, where A is equal to real part and this BI is equal to imaginary part. As I is the imaginary number, I is nothing but the under root minus 1. And A and B are real numbers. For example, we will take the value of A is 2 and B is 3. Then Z equals to 2 plus 3i. So this is the complex number which contain 2 plus 3i means real part and imaginary part, and A and B, these are the real numbers. Okay. In this way, we have studied complex number. Complex number are nothing but the numbers which has two parts, that is real part and imaginary part. So if we can't if we can't find the square root of minus 16, minus 4, minus 3, minus 1, so square root of minus 1 is considered as I. That is, I is nothing but the imaginary number. So complex number are denoted by the letter Z. Which is equals to A plus BI. This is the notation of complex number, that is the general form of complex number. So where A is the real part, BI is the imaginary part, and A and B are the two real numbers. Okay. So if we will take the value of value of A is 2 and value of B is 3, then we can say the complex number is Z equals to 2 plus 3i, where 2 is the real part, 3i is the imaginary part. Okay, and I is the imaginary number. So I hope you have understood.